Welcome into the Commander's Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today we had some breaking news from head coach Dan Quinn as quarterback Jayden Daniels will be out this week for this week's matchup versus the New York Football Giants with that elbow injury that he re-aggravated last week versus the Minnesota Vikings. Today on the Commander's Report, we're going to be breaking down what this means for the Washington Commanders moving forward, whether the Commanders should even think about playing Jayden at any point during the rest of this four-game stretch. And I'm going to tell you why at the end of today's show, why this game versus the New York Giants actually matters a lot for the Washington Commanders heading into the 2026 offseason. So make sure you guys stick around for why this game is so important for the future of this franchise. But before we get into the content today, make sure you click that subscribe button, because this is why you click that subscribe button and join us here at the Commanders Report, because whenever there's big news, whether that's an injury update, whether that's a trade rumor during the offseason, whether that's a breaking news video with the Commanders signing a free agent, it doesn't matter. When there's breaking news, we get you guys coverage right here on the Commanders Report for free. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right, so we did get the news today from Dan Quinn. Jayden Daniels will not play on Sunday with that elbow injury. John Keim from ESPN also noted that Quinn said Daniels re-aggravated his left elbow injury and doctors advised that they sit him on Sunday. Daniels could return to the field the following week, but that remains uncertain. And listen, man, if the doctors are saying, sit him out for another week, absolutely. That is the right call for the Washington Commanders to make, in my opinion. And, honestly, you can make an argument, in my opinion, that they probably should have sat him out versus the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, if all it took was just to be pushed to the ground to get this injury re-aggravated, obviously, in my opinion, it wasn't in a spot where he should have came back. Like I've been saying for weeks, the only way that you should play Jayden Daniels at this point is if he's 100%. And, I don't think that was the case Sunday versus the Minnesota Vikings. He just didn't really look like himself when he was on the field. And then, of course, all it takes is for him to get pushed down one time for that elbow injury to re-aggravate. And apparently it's bad enough this week where doctors are recommending he doesn't play. So hopefully they can just get this injury under control. And moving forward, if he's not 100%, if there's a chance of what happened in Minnesota happening again, don't play him. All right, plain and simply. He's just too important to the future of this franchise, and you don't want to risk anything even worse happening in future weeks. Now, of course, with Jayden Daniels out this week, that once again means Marcus Mariota will step into the starting role. And honestly, guys, I feel perfectly fine with that. I mean, we've seen what Mariota can do, especially when he gets that full week of preparation, and we've seen him play pretty darn well this season in moments. He played very well against the Denver Broncos just 2 weeks ago, and this New York Giants defense is not exactly the Denver Broncos defense that he carved up at home just a couple of weeks ago. So certainly, Marcus Mariota can certainly, get the most out of these receivers. We've seen him have a lot of success in this offense. We know he can operate it at a high level. And we've seen him a lot this year. So definitely have a lot of confidence in him heading into Sunday. But coming up here, I'm going to tell you why this week's game is very important for the Washington Commanders. I know it can be easy to think, we only have 3 wins, season is over, all that stuff. This game doesn't matter at all. I'm going to tell you why this game is actually pretty darn important for the Washington Commanders coming up here in just a second. But first, let me know down there in the comment section for today's pinned question: should the Washington Commanders just shut down Jayden Daniels at this point in the year? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comments. Again, like I said, this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So in just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Harry's, and I'll tell you about Harry's today. Simply give me a yes or a no down there in the comments. And with that, let's have word from our sponsor today at Harry's. And I don't have to tell you guys that maneuvering the men's razor space nowadays is a bit of a nightmare. The quality products are always super expensive and drain your bank account. And then to refill those products, they're also ridiculously expensive. Then when you try and save some money and go for a bargain brand, you get stuck with dull razors that you can really only use once, and they irritate and sometimes even cut your skin. That's exactly why I switched to Harry's Plus, and I haven't looked back since. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face, refined blade tech for closer, smoother shaves, and a weighted metal handle, which is Harry's heaviest handle ever for added control and comfort. But what I think is the best part about Harry's Plus is how affordable it is. Harry's owns their own world-class blade factory in Germany, which means no outsourcing and no middleman. And because they control the entire process from steel to shelf, they keep costs low and pass the savings on to you, the customer. And even after all this innovation that they've put into it, Harry's Plus still cost less than Gillette Fusion. And to put a bow on it all, if you don't love your shave, Harry's will make it right with you. No questions asked. Their risk-free trial means there's zero downside to giving them a shot. And just to show you guys actually use and love Harry's Plus, I have my Harry's Plus razor with me here today. And I've been using Harry's ever since I was in college, guys, because, as a broke college kid, I didn't have any money to spend on premium products, but I wanted a premium shave, and I wanted a barbershop quality shave, and I was kind of tired of these bargain brand type of razors that would cut my skin and irritate my skin and get all red up in the face, really ugly looking. But Harry's really was a godsend, because you have that really great German engineered blade cartridge that every single time gives you a barbershop quality shave, but you don't have to break the bank. And now with Harry's Plus with the weighted metal handle, it's absolutely fantastic stuff, and it's the best shave I've ever had from a product like this. So for a limited time only, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. This set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, one refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head on over to harrys.com/chat to claim your offer. And after your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Big thank you to Harry's for sponsoring today's edition of the Commander's Report. So let's talk about this matchup here to finish up today's show. The Washington Commanders, of course, will travel to the Meadowlands on Sunday to take on the New York Football Giants. And, of course, they started this journey here with a win over the Giants in Washington. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the Commanders look like here. Of course, the Commanders have lost 8 straight games, and they're really trying to end that losing streak. They don't want to finish the season with 12 straight losses. That would be an incredible embarrassment. So to maybe just get at least one more win before the end of the season to break that streak, get a little bit of positivity in the building would be good. But I think that this game, is bigger than people kind of realize. And I do think that there would be positives to a Commanders win, and there would be positives to a Commanders loss. Now, we'll start with why this game is important. And it's important because of the draft positioning in the 2026 NFL Draft, okay? Because both Washington and New York are in the top 6 as it currently stands in the current draft order. And right now, actually, the New York Giants currently hold the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft with a 2-11 record. And the Washington Commanders currently sit at the number 6 overall selection there with a 3-10 record. Now, strength of schedule is what determines, who's higher versus the other teams with the same records. And right now, the New York Giants have had the worst strength of schedule with that 2-11 record. So if the Commanders lose, that means that they're going to be improving their draft stock. New York will be 3-11, just like the Commanders if that happens, and they will move into the top 5 of the 2026 NFL Draft order if they lose versus the New York Giants. So if they're unable to break this losing streak, if they lose their 9th straight game in a row, there's still the positive that you're improving your draft stock at this point in the season. But if Washington wins, and they are able to break this streak and get their first win, since week 5 of the NFL season. It's crazy to say that against the Los Angeles Chargers, but if they get a win, they get the season sweep over a division rival, and that's not nothing. To be able to say you completely dominated, in a divisional opponent in a game, in a season where you have nothing to play for playoff-wise, division-wise at this point, to get a season sweep would be something that this team can hang its hat on if they're able to get this win versus the New York Giants. And at this point, guys, it's going to be tough to ruin Washington's draft stock too much, even if you get a win or two down the stretch. They're still going to be probably drafting in the top 10 of the NFL Draft next year regardless. But listen, man, I'm actually going to take Washington to win this game, okay? New York is really struggling, on both sides of the ball. They have been for a while. They do have Jackson Dart, who's playing some good ball right now. But I think, with Terry McLaurin still in the lineup, you got Deebo Samuel. The run game here in Washington has actually been okay the last couple of weeks. And I think Marcus Mariota is going to be able to do some good things against this New York Giants defense. I think this might be a higher scoring game than maybe some teams are, maybe some people are expecting. Of course, I think Jackson Dart will have a good day against the Commanders' terrible defense. But I think at the end of the day here, it's going to be close. It's going to be an entertaining ball game to watch. But I am going to take the Washington Commanders to break their 8-game losing streak and get a win and get the season sweep over the New York Giants this year. So who you got? Let me know down there in the comment section. Type WAS for the Washington Commanders or type NYG for the New York Football Giants. Let me know who you think wins this game down there in the comment section. And that'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. We've got more Commanders content coming your way throughout the week here, so make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, hail to the Commanders.